So it's going to be, I think, a debate in the Democratic side whether to appeal to the base and have, the investigation palooza, or to have a more broad legislative agenda.
Jessica, your reaction to the fact that Democrats have now taken majority of the House?
I'm so relieved and glad that I was on set for this moment because I walked out here kind of panicked. I think it's great news. Obviously, when you saw the exit polls, it was very clear that healthcare was the #1 issue, and Democrats have been leading by 15+ points on the issue of healthcare for months now. To your point, Molly, I think it's a little early to decide which way we're going to go, investigate or legislate. I hope it's legislate. There is room with President Trump, who has liberal roots and loves to build things, to do some infrastructure together and to get on the same page about a lot of issues that a more conservative Republican president might not have done. The balance of power in the Senate will also be huge here in deciding how much we can do in terms of working together. But big sigh of relief here and interested in how big the margin ends up.
Yeah, Steve?
I think that when you look at the serious implications of this, it is pretty much bad news all round, because what it means is that you're going to get a dent in that economic progress because people's confidence in the economy will suffer. I think business confidence will be undermined, and I think that could start to undermine the boom that we've seen.
But let me just interrupt you. Historically, the markets have liked to split government.
Gridlock.
The Clinton,
markets like gridlock.
The Clinton government, they kind of liked that government. But I know what you're saying as far as moving things forward with the Trump agenda.
I think what they'll be worried about is an expectation that you're going to see a return, if this is a sign of things to come, a return to the days of regulation and high taxes that get in the way of enterprise. And I think that will be the thing to look out for. But in terms of the politics, I think that, as Molly was saying, if we think about where we are right now, it feels to me as if actually the Democrats are underperforming the expectation. And in fact, if you look at what's going on as of now, could change, of course, it feels like the Trump effect, if you like, is positive, not negative. Where he really put the effort in, that's delivering the results for the Republicans. And on the other hand, what the Democrats and the resistance movement particularly were hoping for, this massive repudiation of Donald Trump and everything he stood for, that doesn't seem to be transpiring. And what we're getting is a pretty much of a tepid result. Of course, it gives them control as we're projecting, and that will have real world consequences. But politically, this doesn't feel like the kind of result that they were looking for at all.
Yeah.
Just to pick on what we were saying, it's worth remembering that even if he were to lose control of the Senate, his tax cut is protected because he could protect it with a veto. He can also protect all the things that went with it. So an awful lot of his program is in place and
key
set.
regulation.
He can continue to do what he's been doing. So the legislative effect of this, I think, will be gridlock. And as you pointed out, markets have liked gridlock in the past. There'll be no big regulatory legislative agenda, but